All right, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another YouTube video. In this one, I wanted to answer the question of, how I grew so fast. So I think, obviously there's people who have grown significantly faster than me. I'm fully aware of that. But for a 20-year-old kid, who started from scratch, started at 17, and put, as much time as I could into this as possible, despite other obligations, like, things like with friends and whatnot. And, I've only been doing this for this niche specifically, running an agency and helping other people do it, for like a year and a half, maybe coming up on 2 years. And there's been all kinds of reasons why I'm not already at like multiple seven figures. Like, there's all kinds of things that have slowed me down, and yet I'm still doing really, really well with it. So how did that happen? And how did I manage to move so fast? So before we get into this video, I want to announce that there's two things I want to tell you. So I want to announce that there's two things I want to tell you. There's two things I want to tell you that I want to announce. First of all, my calendar is filling up incredibly quickly. I've got a couple slots open for a free one-to-one consulting call where I'll see sort of where you're at with your agency. I'll sort of help you solve some problems there, and I'll help you kind of make some goals and see where you want to be. And if I see that I can help you go from where you are to where you want to be, I'm going to make you an offer, and I'm going to get you into the six-figure marketing consultant program. And we only take on a certain type of person. I say no a lot on these calls, so odds are you're just going to get some help from me. But if you've got some money to invest and you'd like to make a change in your business, schedule a call. I'm looking forward to speaking with you. The other thing is, if you don't want to schedule a call and you just want to ask some questions, the best way to reach me is through Instagram, at Trey Cockrum, or Facebook. And we've also got a Facebook group. So those are some great resources for you so you can move up. If you're ready to just go all in, all hands on deck, just schedule a call. If you're ready to just kind of poke around and see what you can get, Facebook group, message me, and I'll help you out there. So all of that said, we're already 2 minutes in and I've said nothing, so let me get straight to it. How did I grow so fast? How did I get to a point where, I'm able to build leverage into my business? I'm able to, kind of just almost hands-off run the thing, right? How is it that even on a slow month, I still do like $15,000 to $20,000? And that's last month. It's Corona, right? Things got cut massively down. On a good month, it's like $40,000 to $50,000. But Corona, I was living at home, helping out family a bunch, wasn't working as hard. Really, was kind of on my butt most of the time, and still $15,000 to $20,000. Really, really, really good month. So how does that happen? Like, how on earth does a 20-year-old kid do that? And not only 20 years old, how does anybody do that? How does anybody run a business that is capable of such numbers? Well, there's a couple principles that I want to share in this video that are really going to help me explain this to you. And I'm actually grab my whiteboard. Okay, whiteboard. So there's a lot involved. Okay, obviously running a business is not a simple thing. There's a lot of moving parts, but I want to talk about a few simple things. Okay, and just applying these few simple things is going to take you from a point where, maybe you're struggling at like $2,000 to $4,000 a month, or maybe you don't even have your first consulting or agency client, or maybe, you have scaled, but you're just spending so much time, running the thing. And I just want to talk about, honestly, I really just want to talk about two things. Now that I'm really thinking about it, I really just want to talk about two words. And the first word is leverage. So let me write that down. Leverage. That's the first concept. What is leverage? How do we use it to our favor? So, like, for example, let me talk in terms of like bodybuilding. Obviously, I'm not a bodybuilder, but let me talk in terms of bodybuilding. So leverage is basically being able to take existing momentum or existing assets or resources and apply them to get more. Okay? And so it doesn't have to be money, my friends. It doesn't have to be capital, because most people don't have capital or money. Leverage could be a great funnel. It could be a great sales process. It could be a simple sales process. It could be an amazing offer, right? So leverage is basically anything that makes it easier to move someone from a total stranger to someone who has bought something from you. That's leverage. Really, in business, that's leverage. Like, leverage is making this process easier, right? That's leverage. So how do we build that process? How do we make it easier? Like, for me, for example, my leverage, I could explain a few things that I've intentionally used as leverage. So, like, for example, this YouTube channel. Instead of talking to prospects one at a time, and just having tons of direct message conversations, or spending tons of time trying to convince people to, purchase educational content or work with me in my agency or whatnot. I use YouTube, I use Facebook, and I use these platforms, social media platforms, as leverage to get clients. It's very simple. Another example could be like running ads. Let's say you have a $10,000 month, and you made that $10,000 running people down a website that maybe collects their email, gets them to watch a video, and then has them schedule a call with you if they liked what they watched on that video. Maybe the video showed them how to run Facebook ads for their real estate business, just as an example, right? They would schedule a call. Maybe you make 1 out of 3 sales on those calls. And you got those people to go down that website by posting around in Facebook groups. So now you know that website works. You know that funnel works. That's what a funnel is. You know that funnel works. So why not take some of that money that you've made running the funnel organically, just people without ads, and now run ads to that funnel. And then, then you just have this compounding feedback loop of leverage, right? You just kind of you have money, and you kind of turn it back into more money, and that turns back into more money, and it just goes and goes and goes like that, and just kind of spirals upward, right? And money's not the only thing that does this. Eyes are another thing that works like this. Attention is another thing that works like this. So the more people you have watching you, the more people you have watching you. And it just kind of goes like that. And so when you understand these two things, you understand that money can turn into money, that attention can turn into attention, you begin to value attention differently. I don't see YouTube videos like YouTube videos. I see YouTube videos like seeds, and they're kind of planted out there, and they slowly grow a beautiful business. I see Facebook posts the same way. I see Instagram posts the same way. I see ads the same way. It's not wasted money. It's not wasted time, because attention and money compound like that, okay? So leverage is an important thing. Another piece of leverage that you could have is actual results for your clients, because when you have results and they've maybe recorded a testimonial for you, that turns into more clients, which turns into more clients, more results, which turns into more clients, more results. It gets easier and easier and easier and easier to sell people and stuff. So it's just this loop again. So that 0 to 1 is always the hardest part. Well, actually not necessarily. A lot of people think it is, but it's pretty easy if you have any sort of leverage you can apply. Hey, I'll do this, for cheap, as long as you just record a testimonial for me. That's a great way to get your first client, because then your client turns into a testimonial. See, these are some things that compound: money, attention, results for clients. Those are just some things. So let me go ahead and wipe down my whiteboard and talk about the other thing that has allowed me to move so fast. So we got leverage, which is an important element, but equally as important as this other one. And let me talk about it. So leverage. Now, the other thing, and you've probably heard this everywhere. Honestly, this is such a common one to talk about as an entrepreneur. Everybody talks about this because it's sexy, it sounds cool, it makes a bunch of people be like, ooh, it's hands off. Reality is nothing's ever truly hands off. Almost everything's hands on, but you can determine how valuable your hands are, if that makes sense. An author that I really like, Douglas Kruger, uses the example of a wheelbarrow. And, he says two men push a wheelbarrow with similar weight in them and work just as hard. 2 men of similar stature. One makes $10,000 an hour, one makes $5 an hour. What's the difference between the two? Well, one man's wheelbarrow is filled with gold bars. I'm just going to draw a really crude wheelbarrow. The other man's wheelbarrow is filled with crap and dirt. Right? So who do you think makes more money? The dude who pushes a wheelbarrow with gold bars, or the dude who pushes the wheelbarrow with dirt and crap? Right? And this is an analogy for where your hands go and how much value your hands have. And I'll explain this. So this is something really good to remember. I love this analogy, because you can put in the same amount of work. Let's say this is 60 pounds of dirt and 60 pounds of gold. It's the same weight, man. It's just you're pushing something different. And so how do you push something different in business? How do you push something more valuable than crap? That's, I guess, the question, right? My answer is very simple. And let me answer it like this. Systems. Systems allow you to push things that are more valuable than crap. So everybody says, oh, it's all about hard work. Bull crap. It's not about hard work. It is about making sure that your work is valuable. That's what it's about. And how do you make sure that your work is valuable? Well, with systems. So I'm just going to give a very crude example, particularly one that might apply to agency owners. So what I could do is I could either send, on and on and on. I could either send, tons of emails, and just like to one person on the other end of each of these who may or may not buy, on and on and on and on and on. Tons of cold emails. And now, granted, plenty of people do cold emails and they do very well. I'm not saying it's a bad method. I'm just using it. Let's pretend I suck at cold email, and I'm just relying on the law of averages for me to succeed here, which means I know that for every 100 emails, I get one response. I know that for every 10 responses, I get one meeting. I know that for every 3 meetings, I get one close, sort of a thing. So then you know that you have to send, I don't know what that adds up to. Like, is that like 3,000 emails? 300? I don't know. But, let's say I'm just doing emails. This is not a very leveraged system. This is, you're on the other end of these working. You're sending every single one of these. And so your work, you're kind of pushing crap in a wheelbarrow right now. Now, I'm not saying you can go straight to pushing gold. I think a lot of people need to start here. I think a lot of people that I really admire started doing this. But, very quickly, you want to move up this chain where instead of sending cold emails and cold messages and doing all this, and frankly, I've helped a lot of people start skipping this whole stage. I think you can totally skip it. I don't think it's unreasonable at all to just skip this crazy bullcrap. Instead of sending tons of cold emails, let's say instead we build attention and we pour money into a system, maybe a series of landing pages, right? That then turns into a call, which turns into a sale, right? So we have like a funnel, and then we have a call, and then like let's say 1 out of 3 of these turns into a sale, right? Like that's a way better method for scaling a business. So instead of sending, 100 cold emails, you just run, $200 worth of ads. Or you post 3 Facebook posts, and you just run that into a funnel. And then that kind of converts. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I hope this is making sense. So systems allow you to be pushing gold in your wheelbarrow versus pushing crap and dirt in your wheelbarrow. So a single work day for me is worth like maybe I'd say $2,000 to $3,000. Maybe. And I'm looking forward to when like an hour is worth like 15 grand. And I see no reason why I can't get there using systems and leverage. Right? So you got to understand this concept. Super crucial stuff, you guys. Until you build in leverage, until you build in systems, you're pushing crap and dirt in your wheelbarrow. You got to fix that as soon as you possibly can. And that's how I've been able to move so fast. So let me talk very practically about how I've applied these things. So when it comes to systems, so some of my favorite systems that I use in my business are hiring on important staff members, team members. So one I've recently brought back on board is an editor. I just have to record this video, send them the files, everything's done, it's up, links are in the description, everything. And now there's tons involved. There's like VAs that help me with my agency, with my clients, right? I use a software. So when somebody wants to schedule a call on my calendar who might want to work with me or do business, I just send them a link. And then not only does it send them a link to schedule a call with me, they can also fill out a form. And that form gives me all the information I need to know about them. So I don't need to ask them a bunch of these questions. Right? It's called Acuity Scheduling. It's a really good software. I am religiously attached to my calendar. Whatever's going on that day, I do it. I plan my days ahead. So I will sit down and I'll actually plan the next day before it even comes so I know what I'm doing. Another thing that I do is, I build in relationship systems. So like a big thing that people don't realize is that like you are who you surround yourself with. And so I've built in at least one call a day with somebody that I really look up to and that looks up to me, and we really honor each other, and we just have that call. So I just keep thinking right. I just keep going. And I literally schedule them weekly. Like, hey, Tyler, we're going to have a call every Monday. And that's one of the dudes that I talk to. Bastion's the guy I talk to a lot. He's actually a top student of mine. I talked to a guy named Kyle. One of my best long friends in life, Caden. He's always really pushed me forward. He's very helpful. My girlfriend, obviously, I spend a lot of time with her. She's very insightful and helps me a lot. So you build in relationship systems. Guys, this is how you move forward in life, not just business. Like, you want to make sure your time is put into something that matters. You want to make sure your time is put into something with leverage. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time. So, like, what most 20-year-old guys do is they do short-term, easy activities, like video games, like drugs, sex, all this stuff. Anything that, like, just feels good right now. I don't think there's anything inherently immoral or wrong about those things. I just think you can't find meaning in them because it's just biological pleasure, right? And so instead of doing that, do something like this. So that's how I've been able to move so fast as a 20-year-old kid, is because, inherently so it really helps that I grew up in a religious household, a Christian household, because, like, they have all of these standards, like drugs are a no-no, like sex before marriage, don't even try, all these things. And so I just didn't get caught up in all of these, like, stupid things. Like, so many guys get so caught up in, like, girls. And, dude, if I wanted to have girls, I would have so many girls. Like, I could just freaking do it. And it sounds super cocky, but when you have money, you got a nice apartment, you're not bad looking, you could do it if you wanted to. And I'm not going to because I've got standards. And those have allowed me to move. So you got to cut out all these stupid things. Like unnecessary luxuries, unnecessary temptations. Get them out of there. Start pushing gold in your wheelbarrow. So that's how I've been able to move so fast, is systems, leverage, getting rid of unnecessary bottlenecks. So I feel like that would be the next point if I were to talk about it, like systems, leverage. So once you build in systems and leverage, the only thing that could slow you down is yourself, and which I've experienced. I've literally gone from having like a $40,000 month to the next month doing like $10,000. So like down 75%. It's like, who the frick does that? Me, because I'm stupid. You gotta understand, like, I'm not that smart. I just am good at this. And that's the thing, is people who make money, they're not hard workers. They're not even necessarily smart. If you met me in person and you realized how little I know about the world, how, like, stupid I am when it comes to basic things, honestly, I couldn't even name most countries on a map. I couldn't freaking, like, I'm good at math to the point that I need it. I'm good at chemistry to the point that I need it, which is almost none. I can't cook. I can't freaking clean. I have somebody clean this place for me. I'm dumb. I am dumb. And so you got to understand, you don't have to be smart. You just have to do this well to make money. And so that's how I've been able to move so fast. I've just kind of optimized everything for this. Like, I've just moved all, like, my energy into this. And then I've made sure that my energy isn't pushing crap and dirt. It's pushing bars of gold. So, man, I made some crude analogies in this video. I hope that's okay. My phone's falling. So yeah, that is the end of this video. I hope it's been valuable for you. I can't seem to get my phone to stay, so I'm just going to pick it up. That is the end of this video. Hope it's been valuable for you. It's been a pleasure. I really like these sorts of videos. I love talking about things that really move the needle for people in their life, in their business. I think running an agency, starting a consulting business is the best opportunity for an entrepreneur to grow and scale their business. Find a niche, deliver a marketing service to them, or start a coaching business, something like that, where you're working with people one-on-one, building relationships, building that momentum, building this attention and, money leverage. It's so good, dude. It's so fun. So if you want to start your own, again, back to the beginning of the video I mentioned, you can schedule a one-to-one consultation with myself, see if you're qualified for the program. I say no, honestly, a lot. I'm not going to take your money unless I know you need it. And yeah, if you want any questions answered, be sure to message me on Instagram at Trey Cockrum, and Facebook. You can do those whenever, and I'll just kind of be there to help you out. So thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Start pushing gold, not crap and dirt, and then build systems. That is my final advice. Goodbye.